West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't understand why this is an issue.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
6 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show. News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights and hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Fair warning to everybody, Bill and I are both victims of circumstances and got about 20 minutes of sleep.
Yes, it's very tired today.
So this is one of those days we'll probably say things we wouldn't normally say.
Yeah. So in other words, hit record right now.
Hit record
Yes.
because this may be the last one. You
Yes,
never know.
exactly. This will be it.
We're both dads, both with lots of responsibilities, and both with kids that like to wake us up.
Yeah. I think you were saying before the show, yours came home at 1:30, and mine decided to make eggs at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, mine wasn't quite
What?
that late, but it was. I had just fallen. It was one of those where I had just fallen asleep, and then she wakes the rest of us up, and I can't go back to sleep.
And you know how that is anybody that's had that late night job, you come home, you can't just turn off. Because there's other things, and if anything happened, you've got to download information. Part of what happens in our brain, part of the reason that things go viral, is because when we experience something that is unexpected or a surprise, part of the way that our brain has to work through it is to tell someone. You have to share. It's a forced response. So if something happens exciting, unpredictable, or something that frustrates them at work, they have to share. It's nearly impossible not to. So yeah, they come home, and that's why they get the, "Oh my God, Mom." Yeah, it's one of my daughters that works in the school system comes home, and if something happened at work, it's buckle up, pack a lunch. This is a 45-minute conversation. You're going to hear everything about it, but that's okay because she has to work through it. And so you just kind of know that's coming. So I'm sure your daughter came home and something happened, her work was going, and she's like, yeah.
And I am a space cadet today. I'm going to be somewhere else.
That's okay. Oh, I understand.
And then Bill's dealing with his dog.
My dog's not doing well. Really bad. Luckily, we found out it's just arthritis in the knees. Nothing as far as surgery, but she's having a really hard time walking. And so it's 1:30 in the morning, though. I hear her whining downstairs. I'm like, wait. And then I hear something else. I'm like, someone's in the kitchen. And then I hear, someone's cooking? Like, the hell? So I get up and walk downstairs. There's my youngest making eggs. 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I didn't eat dinner. I wasn't hungry at that time, and I slept this afternoon. And I said, okay, again, it's summer for the teenagers, whatever. But the dog is like, someone's making the food. Someone's in the food place. What are they doing in the food place? Can I have some? And she can't really get up, but she needed to go potty, so I took her outside. She has a problem getting outside, so she needed some assistance, and we have to go out the front door because the back stairs are too steep. So there I am with my dog trying to coax her to go to the bathroom at 1:45 in the morning in my front lawn. So I'm certain that I'm going to be reported on Nextdoor here in the next couple of weeks, next couple of days. Yeah, there's some weird guy in the neighborhood. At one point, she just flops down.
In the morning.
Yeah, at one point she just flops down, and I'm like, so are we going to go potty or not? And she's just kind of thinking about whether or not she's got the energy. So I sit down next to her. So yes, if you drove through our neighborhood at 1:45 in the morning, I'm sitting on our front lawn with the dog. That's wonderful. I'm sure all my neighbors are going to be talking about me. That's great. That's my day today.
It's going to be a wild one.
And you didn't get any sleep. Yeah, you couldn't get back to sleep. This is going to be awful.
This is going to be an interesting show.
This is going to be a very interesting show.
And I love the fact that Kelly put this show together because he wanted two dads that could commiserate with regards to their life experiences.
Yes, exactly.
And here we are.
And here we are like,
going on fumes. All right. So,
and coffee.
Yeah, thank God we got coffee.
Yes.
Well, we're going to get into this in just a second, but Elon Musk and Donald Trump, oh my goodness.
Wow. I just can't quit you. That's just basically it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, Elon Musk now promising to start a brand new political party.
Yes.
Now, I think Musk is right to raise concerns about the debt. Absolutely right about this.
Absolutely.
Right? And what this big, beautiful bill may end up doing. But starting a new party, that is, let's just put Democrats in office for the next 15, 20 years.
The other part is, I think, again, I don't think Elon has thought his clever plan all the way through. And we talked about this when RFK Jr. was making his independent run. And people are like, oh, could he? This would be a shakeup. No, not at all. Not a shakeup. And the problem is that Elon hasn't thought this through is how government functions. It's that you need a larger constituency in order to affect any change. And even if he goes and his threat is to primary every Republican member that votes for the big, beautiful bill, even if he gets 2/3 of them, he doesn't have enough power inside of Congress to really affect any change. There's no constituency per se. So that's the problem. And he's not going to get 2/3 of the wins. It's just probably not going to happen. You're probably looking at 50%. So even then, if he, let's just say the House or the Senate, he's going to have 50% of the 50%. So he's going to have 25%. Now we're talking about looking at a European coalition government.
Dude,
unless he wants to be
disaster.
And the only function that his party would have at that time would to be the roadblock. That's all the party would be.
Yeah.
They'd just be the roadblock party. No, we can't do anything. No, we can't do anything. No, we can't do anything. And if they are the preventative measure, it's sometimes hard to get reelected. That can be very, very difficult if you are viewed as the problem rather than part of the solution. So we will see. We will see. But grab the popcorn. Going to be fun to watch.
And I'm going to be reading some Truth Social posts, some tweets that were going back and forth between DJT and Elon Musk right after News and Comment with Mr. Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Good morning, Tuesday, 58 and sunny in Denver. Very few things better than July mornings in Colorado. Beautiful out this morning, expecting a high of 92 today. News is presented by International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Now is the time to stand with Israel. Call 800-301-1188. That's 800-301-1188, or go to 710knus.com and click on the big red Stand with Israel banner at the top of the page. Our top story, the Boulder DA's office says terrorist Mohammed Solomon is now facing murder charges, including extreme indifference. Boulder Jewish Community Center said Monday that one of the victims, Karen Diamond, passed away Wednesday from severe injuries. Solomon is facing state charges in his next scheduled appearance in 2 weeks. The Senate powering through overnight negotiations on the big, beautiful bill. 10 minutes ago, DJT posted that the one big, beautiful bill, slashes deficits, national debt, while unleashing economic growth. Republicans still hashing out key disagreements over Medicaid cuts and green energy tax breaks. 2 GOP senators have already said they'll vote no, joining every Democrat. Just 2 more Republicans opposed could sink it. Stephen Miller.
I've stood by the families whose kids have been murdered by illegal aliens. We made them a promise. Most importantly, the American people voted to fulfill that promise in the last election. This bill fulfills it. It is the largest tax cut and reform in American history. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, 100% expensing for new factories.
Aurora police say the 2 fatal stabbings on Sunday are likely connected. According to 9 News, Denver police believe Ricky Roybal Smith is responsible for both incidents. He's also facing new accusations after allegedly murdering his cellmate Monday while in jail. Roybal Smith was incarcerated for DUI and other related offenses and was previously out on parole for multiple felonies in Arapahoe County. He's currently being held without bond and scheduled to appear in court today in connection with the cellmate's death. The DJT administration taking legal aim at L.A., accusing the city of undermining federal immigration enforcement. A new lawsuit claims L.A.'s sanctuary city policies discriminate against federal agents and block immigration law enforcement. The suit, filed in California's Central District, names the city, its council, and mayor, Karen Bass. Brian Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students, has agreed to a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. Multiple sources say Kohberger will plead guilty in exchange for 4 consecutive life sentences with no chance to appeal. A Disney cruise is now docked in Florida after a dramatic rescue at sea captures the passengers' hearts.
This is crazy.
Oh, wasn't that amazing? The Disney Dream docked in Broward County after a young girl falls overboard. I think she was 5 years old.
Falls off the 4th deck?
Oh, my. Yeah, the 4th deck. I was like, how did she survive? That's pretty
I blame
high
Peter
up
Pan.
there. Yeah.
You can fly. You can fly. It's the whole
right.
thing. Disney cruises. That's the issue.
Oh, my goodness.
That
It was
and
Peter
Tinkerbell.
Pan's fault. Oh, my
Absolutely.
Lord. Yeah, no, you're right. You see those, you watch those movies and you think you can do anything. Her father jumped in after her and crew members rushed to save both. It was incredible.
He ends up treading water with her for like 20 minutes because it takes a while, right, to get the little boat released and to go after. But props to that dad. The minute she goes over, like the second she goes over, he's right with her and then treads water for like 20 minutes with her, holding her up.
I mean, wouldn't it be tough even after she jumps in? When he jumps in, they could have been separated by I don't know,
that
10,
or
20
sucked
feet?
under the back of the boat propellers, all that stuff.
Absolutely. That was amazing, man.
Some toxic masculinity for the win right there, man.
No doubt, no doubt. He was saving his daughter, and you guys were saving your daughters and kids last night, and I was doing the same. So I'm joining you with about an hour and a half worth of sleep as well. So
I think the 8 o'clock. Yeah, the 8 o'clock hour should be the Jeff and Bill nap time. We should just play soft music.
I agree.
And we can just sleep.
I'm going to join you on that one.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's what we need.
Nuggets trade Michael Porter Jr. and 2032. You're excited about that first round pick for Cam Johnson. I think a lot of Nuggets fans are. And they also bring back Bruce Brown Jr. Astros at Coors Field tonight take on the Rockies. 55 in Arvada, 56 in Superior, 58 in Denver. Beautiful outside. And now Jeff and Bill, they continue with about 3 hours combined sleep. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Partly cloudy skies for early Tuesday. We'll start off in the upper 50s, and with sunshine, we'll get back to the upper 80s for highs Tuesday. Mostly sunny, still going to run a slight chance for afternoon showers, and partly cloudy, low 60s Tuesday night. Expect readings to hit the low 90s Wednesday and even for Thursday. For the 4th of July holiday, thunderstorms will be scattered with cloudy skies. Weather brought to you by Colorado's Best Roofing, reminding you to protect your home from the harsh Colorado weather. Schedule your free no-obligation roof inspection at roofingcolorado.com. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Well, it sort of feels like watching mom and dad fight. Elon Musk,
Yeah.
and Donald Trump, and you love them both. And they're both right. They're just wrong about their anger towards each other. Here's Donald Trump responding to Elon Musk threatening to create a third political party and primary anybody who supports the Big Beautiful Bill. Donald Trump, Truth Social. Last night, 10:44 p.m. Elon Musk knew long before he strongly endorsed me for president that I was strongly against the EV mandate. It is ridiculous and always a major part of my campaign. Electric cars are fine, but not everyone should be forced to own one. Do you remember when they were selling them together?
Oh, yes.
In the lobby
Yes.
of the White House.
Yeah, Donald Trump bought one. Yeah, he said famously he bought one, but he can't drive one, and so the staff is going to drive it. And then he got a little mad at Elon, and then he said he's going to sell it. Arr.
Elon may get
Yes.
more subsidies than any human being in history. Now he's starting to sound like Bill Thorpe.
Yes, he
By
is.
far. And without subsidies, Elon would probably have to close up shop and head back home to South Africa.
Ooh, head back home. Ouch. That's
No more rocket launches, satellites, or electric car production, and our country would save a fortune. Perhaps we should have Doge take a good hard look at this. Big money to be saved, exclamation point. And then our friend Elon Musk responding. Oh boy, I lost it on my page here.
But see, the thing is, if Trump really wants to hurt him, you take away his ability to sell the carbon credits. That's what would sink it. If he really, really wanted to go after him, that would really hurt Elon because it would tank the revenues for Tesla. That would really hurt him. I mean, again, so some of this is performative.
Are you trying to give Trump ideas?
No, I'm saying
now?
that some of this is performative. The idea that he's like, maybe we should, that if he really wanted to hurt him, he does have the ability to really shiv him hard. But right now, he's surface, which is a little bit of a threat. He's not going too deep right now.
Elon Musk responding with a retweet. Elon never wanted an EV mandate or subsidies. Elon's opposition to the one big beautiful bill has never been about its removal of EV tax credits or the EV mandate. It's simply about his passionate opposition to rising government debt. Okay.
Does Elon know this?
On the topic of subsidies, a large sum of public funds flows to already well-established companies that aren't inventing new technology, rethinking infrastructure, or advancing national interests. They're mostly just milking their decaying dominance. Threatening to pull subsidies from the few companies driving American progress will only stall innovation, slow national competitiveness, and discourage future founders. Elon's companies aren't even in the top 15 recipients of subsidies compared to others. The subsidies his companies receive are peanuts, and they're among the few that have actually benefited the American people. So Elon Musk now threatening to primary anybody that votes in favor of the Big Beautiful Bill. That would be Lauren Boebert, Jeff Craig, Gabe Evans, and Jeff Hurd.
Oh, yeah.
All with a possible American Party
Yes.
primary challenge.
Now, I'm curious. The thing is, I'm curious. This is kind of silly, but I'm curious. Elon's danced around with the type of a name. I'm still expecting some sort of meme name going on here because he seems to attach. That's why we have Doge. The reason is because
Party
the
of
meme.
big.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
but I mean,
probably not.
You look at the things like Cybertruck and Robotaxi. He's using that old cyberpunk graphic or font that's maybe 8 years old, so that he kind of likes those things. So I'm curious to what this is. The America Party or something doesn't seem like Elon branding.
Does this become a Ross Perot-like effort where you kind of become the spoiler, but to build the infrastructure to become a major American party?
Yeah.
I mean, that's decades of work, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but he could write the check in a way that Perot didn't or didn't want to, and it depends on his motivation. if he is motivated to do this, Elon will do it. The idea being, again, I'm a huge critic of him, but I can't deny the idea that he said we are going to have a private company that's going to work on space travel. And and he's so far, doing it. Yes, not his company as far as Tesla, but he pushed the company forward as far as directions. Yes, I think he's been over-promising for years on what Tesla has the ability to do or what it is. But yes, he's pushed the company forward, and he has pushed forward the competition inside of EVs and inside of especially technology. That's the thing. While I am fully a critique of Tesla and their build quality compared to other major auto manufacturers is crap. Their software is amazing. They have probably, if you compared all of the EVs that are available for purchase in America today, I would say that Tesla ranks either at the bottom or near bottom for build quality, but at the top for technology and software. In fact, I have a hard time thinking of another company that I would put second behind Tesla for their technology inside the cars. I think at closest, I think there are others that have build quality and self-driving, they're ahead of it, but just the car integration system, they are very far ahead. However, I do think they're hurting themselves on the user interface at times. I don't think they're doing some of the things that Apple has done, where the engineers want to make it this way rather than making it user friendly. But they are by far the best technology inside of an automobile today. Not even close.
The way this will all play out with a third party will be during the 2026 cycle.
Yes.
So at this point, I don't see enough Republicans peeling off, being that concerned about a primary challenge, that they're not going to support the big, beautiful bill, because that thing they're trying to get done in the next 48 hours, essentially.
Yeah.
This is a threat for 2026. Maybe it's just a little, too late type of thing, that you'll get enough Republicans off. They seem to be in the battle of the billionaires.
Yeah.
More concerned at what Donald Trump could do to their political careers than Elon Musk. But I could be wrong. Join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115, 720-819-5115. All right, let's talk Mountain High Appliance here. They've got some great savings and deals coming for you right now. Mountain High Appliance's Denver Clearance Center is the place to shop for big Independence Day savings. Listen to this. You can save up to 70% on top-of-the-line appliances from premium brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Thermador, and more. When quality matters as much as budget, visit Mountain High Appliance Denver Clearance Center today. And when you think appliances, think locally owned Mountain High Appliance. All right. Could Elon Musk create a third political party? Major one. You always have the libertarians out there that kind of sometimes play spoiler for conservatives. You have the Green Party, who can play spoiler for the Democrats. So are we just adding another one here?
And do we remember the time not so long ago where Donald Trump considered forming his own party? Post-2020 election. The Lion Party or something. We even had a logo that was circulating online.
Was it? That's funny.
So is Elon just doing the same thing that Trump tried, 3 or 4 years ago? Are there no new ideas? Donald Trump threatened to create his own political party, and we had people on KNUS call in and say, yes, they'd join it. Would people join Elon's party? Yes. This is interesting. This is very interesting.
Yeah, give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us at 720-819-5115. We've got a great show for you planned today. Rory O'Neill's going to join us here in just a little bit. We're going to talk about the Alligator Alcatraz?
Yes.
That's been created in Florida. So he'll be joining us in just a few minutes. Scott Wilder is going to be with us from the International Fellowship of Christian and Jews in the 7 o'clock hour. Aaron Lee, founder of Protect Kids Colorado, is going to join us to talk about the FBI investigation into Colorado Children's Hospital and some of their gender procedures they've been doing there. And then the 9 o'clock hour, former mayor of Coronado, California, on how California is trying to get rid of fireworks for the birds. Are we all going to drone presentations and celebrations in the future? That's the direction California wants to take in order to protect a bird. All right, we've got a whole lot to talk about. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. President Trump is headed to Florida today to see firsthand Alligator Alcatraz, a detention area that is being built in the Everglades. National correspondent Rory O'Neill joins us. He's in Florida, has the story. What is Alligator Alcatraz all about, Rory?
Yeah, and how do I get a T-shirt?
Yeah, well, they're out there, and there is a migrant detention facility being built in the middle of the Florida Everglades. They're using an old airstrip that's hardly used, maybe for some military National Guard training purposes, but it's in the middle of nowhere, one road in and out, and they say that's why it's ideal for this purpose. You really can't escape the venue. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck in the middle of a swamp. So they feel confident that escape standpoint, there won't be any security problems. The Florida Division of Emergency Management has actually been coordinating the rapid construction of this facility. President Trump will be touring it today. They're expecting to have their first migrants arrive later today.
That's Rory O'Neill, NBC News National Correspondent. Rory, how big is this facility? How many people can it hold? And who are they bringing to it?
Well, that last question is a little bit vague. We know it can hold more than 1,000 people. They've said up to 5,000. I think they're ready for 1,000 now and are probably continuing assembly of the rest. But this is so remote. We think that most of the staff is going to have to live on the property. So there have been lots of helicopter photos from above that show tents going up, but also lots and lots of individual trailers. We believe that people will be housed in those trailers who work there all the time. So guards, for instance, and a lot of the staff that will be processing people. A lot of legal representation will be there for people as well before any final deportation order is put into effect. So a lot of different services are supposed to be there, and it's been a lot to get set up in a relatively short period of time. And the governor thinks they can build a second one of these facilities in North Florida, pretty close to Jacksonville, in the next few weeks.
Now, when you mention tents, I raise an eyebrow and go, don't Floridians have to deal with hurricanes? Could Alligator Alcatraz withstand some of the weather that you guys face down there in Florida?
No, they would have to be evacuated ahead of an approaching hurricane. And again, we don't even know who's coming. Is it hardened criminals? You know, when they talk about the deportations, they'll say, oh, it's the drug dealers, the rapists, and the murderers. Well, yes, that's a lot of them, not all of them. So do we house them in the same tents? Do we house the same drug dealer gang member in a tent with some woman who's been living beyond her visa for the past 4 years? Are there women and children that are also being processed through this facility? Is it only hardened criminals? And then if it is criminals, all they've done is hire contract workers. They're not corrections officers. They're not federal corrections officers. They're not necessarily properly trained in order to deal with the criminal element like this.
That's Rory O'Neill, NBC News National Correspondent. We're talking about Alligator Alcatraz. What do we expect Donald Trump to do today? Tour the facility, highlight it, that type of walk-through promotional event?
Pretty much spending about 2 hours there total. On the ground, get a tour, then have some sort of a roundtable discussion. Not sure what that means, but that's what his schedule says. And apparently they're going to sort of describe how this works. But there are still lots of questions about the qualifications of the people, and the security in the room. If the tents are not air conditioned, it's 100 degrees. You're infested with mosquitoes. You have 100% humidity every day. There are going to be fights. Nuns would fight in that kind of condition, right? So you have to say, how's that going to be secured? Who takes care of that? What if someone's injured, attacked, and all that stuff? Now, look, you might say good riddance to bad rubbish. Okay, that's fine. But, some of the people that are being likely processed through here may not be hardened criminals. And instead, here for a paperwork snafu more than a paperwork thing, rather than being the worst of the worst, as they always talk about.
Yeah, and I think part of all of this, including the deportation to third countries, like in Africa, is to send a message that if you don't get out of here, you're going to end up at Alligator Alcatraz or Sudan or something like that. So maybe head back home and immigrate to our country legally. Well, Rory O'Neill, NBC News National Correspondent, thank you for giving us a heads up on President Trump visiting Alligator Alcatraz today in Florida.
Thanks, guys.
That is interesting event. You remember how they have the little swim from Alcatraz to San Francisco now?
Oh, yeah.
Now it's like a little sport you can do.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be doing that through the swamps of Alligator Alcatraz.
No, I don't think so. And this, again, great moniker, conjures up a lot of visuals. But I think with Rory O'Neill there, he highlighted one of the major concerns, and that's housing the staff. Because, and here's the reason why, is if you had a job and your job was to go home to your house at night or your apartment that you're renting, etc., and then commute during the day to the detention facility where you're taking care of migrants, or move to a swamp and live in a trailer or a tent and then walk across the swamp to work. Do you think
depends on the pay?
That's exactly where I'm going. Doesn't it don't you think you're going to have to be paid more to live in the swamp? And so while this is a neat moniker and a neat idea, have we considered the fact that in this realm of Trump and Doge, they have just opened up what is functionally a more expensive detention facility than other possible options? I'm not against the detention facility.
Well,
I'm just looking at this going,
Alcatraz is probably more expensive too because you got to take a boat to get out there.
But the other idea is you have to retrofit it, so you'd have to work there. Yeah, so maybe, just maybe, the idea of these cute little Alcatraz, maybe the marketing is done before the actual functional budget is done. But again, if you think that Donald Trump is there to create government efficiency and spend less, this is not it. And again, it's a minor pittance compared to the trillions of dollars. But if it is a government that came to power based on efficiency and spending less, it's odd that they choose to open up a detention facility where it is going to cost more. And especially if they go with contractors. The contractor is going to cost more. So you're going to have to pay the contractors more, and then you have to pay the contractors more than regular contractors because they're in a freaking swamp. Okay, I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, where are all your bean counters? Where are people worried about, oh my gosh, we're spending all this money. Okay, again, minor compared to the larger budget, but okay.
The merch on this is awesome.
Oh, I'm sure.
You got to go to the Florida GOP website because it's the Florida GOP that's selling it. Alligator Alcatraz T-shirts, hats, and koozies.
The thing is, if they were selling the merch and the merch was going to subsidize the employee pay, okay, I think you have something there.
Put it in the Republican coffers so Republicans can win more.
Oh, I know. But again, the Republicans that were complaining about us spending a lot of money on things in government, and now we're going to go spend more money on this thing. Okay.
That's because it's hella cool, man.
Oh, I know. But again, that's all I'm bringing out. I'm not arguing that, but I'm arguing you can't go around saying, look at all them spending at this extra money.
An Alligator Alcatraz koozie.
Yeah.
Oh, what is the design? It looks like it's like a jail in the swamp with snakes around it. Bill, you might actually enjoy being there with all the snakes.
Not the alligator. Snakes are fine.
Think about you could walk around the perimeter on your break.
Snakes are fine. I get no problem with the snakes and the alligators.
And get the snakes and have some fun out there.
I mean, the berms and the other pythons that are there, some of the retics. Not a problem with them because they're not necessarily that type of predator. Alligators, that's a problem. That's a real problem. However, now this is I'm going to take this.
Do alligators make you a little
no
skittish?
Only because they're really efficient predators, especially against humans. I'm just very self-aware about other things that can kill me. It takes a while for a Burma retic to kill me. That's something that they have to put some effort into and will take a little bit of time. They're not ambush predators. There are other things that they do as far as humans because of the size of the prey. They are for small animals, but not for us. However, crocs, oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're nasty, especially the saltwater ones. Yeah, those are real itchy boys.
The designs are okay. Yeah. We could step up it a little bit.
Now
Florida.
On the side,
there need to be
notes,
some sleeveless T-shirts. Make this real Florida, man.
Do you know they found a new python, a new genetic species inside of Florida? Because of the crossbreeding between the Burmese pythons and some of the other Indian rock pythons. They've come across a new genetic combination of the two. And the problem is the breeding and the evolution inside of the ecosystem seems to be self-selecting for the best traits, meaning that this python is becoming a much more efficient hunter than just the individual species alone, which is rather interesting because, again, they would never cross each other in the wild, shared ecosystem, and because of that, there is some crossbreeding that happens, some hybrids, and you do get some super hybrids out of that, meaning that it self-selects some of the best traits of both of them. And yeah, we get some of those. That's going to be a really interesting snake. That's going to take down crocodiles real quick. That'll be a very efficient predator.
We need to up the game on this merch development here for Alligator Alcatraz. But Bill,
we know people.
I'll go. Yeah, we do. It needs to be pushed to another level, man. Come on, let's combine some of the redneck of being a Floridian with Alligator Alcatraz.
And if they don't have a T-shirt that's available for Florida Alcatraz that has the sleeves cut off, I'm very disappointed.
That is. Yes. And I don't see any.
Oh, you don't even know who your audience is.
That is exactly right. Yeah. So
you need one of those beer hats. Put the straws and the beers on the other side. You need one of those too.
I want to bring up, because I've said this before, this is what I think is part of the administration's plan.
Yeah.
And I brought it up with Rory too, is to send a really strong message that if you get busted here illegally, you could end up in Sudan. It's one of the places where they're sending people now. You could end up in Alligator Alcatraz. And I think those reasonable illegals, those that just, got here the wrong way or overstayed their visas, are now getting the heck out. And they're doing so quietly. I don't think they're necessarily taking the CBP app. But you've seen that some reports of nearly 1 million folks here illegally have self-deported, in part because of you could end up in Gitmo, you can end up in Sudan, you're going to end up at the Alligator Alcatraz. Trump's even wanting to reopen Alcatraz itself. Now they're building facilities in Texas as well. I think the message is getting through. I think it's all part of the plan, and I think it's working. Give us a call. Join the conversation, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. What do you think of Alligator Alcatraz? Is this on par with Japanese internment camps of the 1940s? Or is this a good, clear message that if you're here illegally, you're going to end up in some tough situations? Time to go home. Come back to America the legal way.
Yeah, I got a question on that just for a sec. That if it's the idea of, if you're here illegally, time to go home, what happened to the idea of we're going after the illegal immigrant criminals? Is that, are we just, and the reason I'm asking this is, are we setting that aside? That we're no longer going after the rapists, we're no longer going after those individuals that are stealing things, stealing cars. Is that not the focus? Is the focus now, should we just expect it to be all illegal immigrants? And I'm just asking from your perspective, Jeff, what do you think this is now?
Well, that was the plan all along. Trump said he was going to start with the big, bad, violent ones.
Yeah. So did we finish that already?
No, but like I said, you don't have to round all of them up to then say, all right, at this point now we'll go after people that have been here illegally. But if you are an illegal immigrant, you are by definition breaking the law. So it's time to go home. Do it the right way.
Was that the sales pitch during the Trump campaign.
100%.
Was it?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. I don't know about
mass
that.
deportations.
Yeah, I don't know about
Mass
that.
deportations.
Because you kept talking about the immigrant crime wave, and that's kind of the issue. And I don't believe that the average voter felt the person that is working at the construction site, the person working in the kitchen at the restaurant, the person that is working in the hotel that is cleaning the rooms, is that immigrant crime wave. I don't think that's what the average voter said. I don't think that, not said, but I don't think that was their perspective when we talked about the immigrant crime wave, because when we showed the immigrant criminals and the effect they had on society, they weren't building houses, they weren't cleaning hotel rooms, they weren't washing dishes. They were doing things bad to us. And so when we're picking up people that are...
It's both and. It's a mass deportation together. And yeah, Trump was going to prioritize the most violent. Of course he should. If you're out raping people in our community, I sure hope ICE gets you up quick. But we're not going to wait for every person that's a violent criminal to get picked up by ICE and then pivot.
But why wouldn't we target the crime wave if it is such a bad thing? That's the issue I've got. That's the issue.
We are.
Are we?
Yeah, of course.
Are we?
That's exactly what ICE is doing.
Are we?
Yeah, going after those bad guys, and then, also, it's a both and. I don't see an issue. Mass deportations. All right. We've got You Choose the News coming up. We've got phone calls coming in. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. It's that time of the morning to get you moving with a little You Choose the News.
Yes, it's that time where we take our careers in our own tiny little hands. It is America's favorite fake radio news game show. It's You Choose the News. I've spent mere moments this morning scouring the interwebs for really dumb stories about us humans, giving them headlines. And why do we play this fake radio news game show at this hour of the morning on KNUS? Valuable airtime, because those in charge have no idea we're doing it. They don't wake up until 7 o'clock in the morning, so this is just one big giant secret. Shh. And as always, those of you that were left unsupervised and made questionable choices during your teenage years and maybe your 20s, you know you need a fall guy. That's why every morning we are proud to welcome Blake Olson from the news department. He doesn't know it yet, but yes, we're going to blame him. Alrighty, now, gentlemen, here come your choices this morning. Okay, headline number 1, doubling down. Headline number 2, extreme LARPing. Headline number 3, follow the tracks. And headline number 4, possession is 9/10 of the law. Mr. Hunt, your choice, sir.
Extreme LARPing, please.
Yes, extreme LARPing. Those of you that are not familiar with the term may not know that it's when you dress up in sometimes period or even fantasy clothes and pretend y'all are doing things like playing Quidditch or having historical battles. It's just one such battle that went kind of awry recently for a gentleman in West Sussex. During an incident of a historical demonstration of a battle at Bodham Castle that happened just this past Sunday, a man from Horsham was wearing body armor when his opponent reenacted things a little too accurately. He stabbed him in the head through the visor in his helmet. Yes, little stabby. 37-year-old suffered a head injury and is currently in serious condition at the Royal Sussex County Hospital in Brighton. The organization says they're offering support to the family. We knew the reenactment had drawn a large crowd. It's understandable that anybody who witnessed the scene could have found it distressing. But wow, wasn't that accurate? Okay, I might have added the other part, but no. So yeah, I know, dude was stabbed in the face.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, exactly. I had worse. Liar. Okay, no. Okay, Blake Olson in the news department, sir. Doubling down, follow the tracks, or possession is 9/10 of the law.
Let's double it down.
Yes, doubling down. Sometimes a good idea, sometimes a bad idea. I will make you make your judgment on this one. Here we are in Bay Head, New Jersey. Recently, the co-owner of a Jersey Shore brunch spot had to apologize for recently going on to social media and complaining about customers and saying some of them can F off. Dawn Spivak, co-owner of Taylor Sam's, basically had posted a video with one of her employees talking about customers complaining about the fact that prices have gone up. And Dawn is kind of like, well, that's kind of what happens today. All the things are going up. It's getting more expensive. We're sorry, but if you complain about the prices, you can F off. Well, not surprisingly, there was some blowback through social media because of her harsh language and the fact that she was kind of been trying to insult her community members and her potential customers. Well, Dawn had a great idea. She called into the New Jersey 101.5 morning show.
Oh, yeah, 101.5.
Yes. The restaurant's video was receiving backlash. She wanted to explain herself. And during the time, she cursed again.
Uh-oh.
Yes, during the apology, she said the F word a second time. She said she was just trying to make a joke. I'm sorry, now I'm effed. And he goes, uh-oh. The radio station, as we do here, had to dump her for the comments. Then she had to call back in later to New Jersey 101.5 and apologize for her apology.
Wow.
Yes.
She's digging that hole, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Yes. I love the fact they're like, we've got her on the air. She's going to apologize for a video. And then she,
and she drops it again.
Yes, drops the F-bomb yet again. Yeah, I know.
Great vocabulary.
Yes. Although I do think that they should start selling T-shirts. It just on the back it says, I F'd up. That's it.
Yeah.
Just because.
I like that. I'd buy one.
All right. Mr. Hunt, sir. Follow the tracks or possession is 9/10 of the law?
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
You may have heard that. Possession is 9/10 of the law. We are not quoting George Brockler, friend of the show and district attorney on that one. But maybe that's what this 30-year-old Spotsylvania man was thinking. He's in Virginia, if you don't know where Spotsylvania is.
Oh, yeah, that's a great place.
And he's facing multiple drug and weapons charges, which seems a little unfortunate just because the county sheriff said he was trying to sell illegal things through online marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace. Yes, the man who is a wanted suspect was advertising weapons and narcotics on social media shopping places like Craigslist. Just, hey, contact me. Yes.
Frightening.
Yeah. Even some of the narcotics included fentanyl. Yeah. He was contacted by deputies who, I don't know, saw the
social
media post.
I was going to say, the cops that are doing that are like, hey, guys, come over here.
Yeah,
You'll never guess what this guy's doing.
Yeah. Can we meet? Click, 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 click. Yeah. How old is the gun? Click, click, send. Well, deputies did arrive at the gentleman's home, and at the agreed upon time. While they were there, they arrested him, took him to jail, and he's now facing charges of a Schedule 1 narcotic, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm while possessing such narcotics with intent to distribute, and a few other charges just because. So he tried to sell the stuff online. He was trying to do things, imagine going through Facebook Marketplace, and they're like, yes, and fentanyl. You're like,
what was he on while he was doing all this?
I have no idea, but I've seen some weird stuff for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Never seen drugs. Never seen that one. So
well, that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's the You Choosing News. Back to you, sir.
All right, coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk with Scott Wilder of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, how you can support those in the Middle East. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.